Hi, my name is Ellison, and I'm here today to talk to you about the different beverages that your children consume. I'll discuss sugar-sweetened drinks, water, and milk as different drinks that your child may drink. To start, can you all tell me some of the drinks that your children like to consume? Milk, Gatorade, orange juice, Dr. Pepper, slushies, milk again, okay, water, and milk. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with me. Sugary sodas, fruit juices, and other beverages are available for purchase everywhere these days. It can seem like a good choice for children since they're very sweet and highly palatable, and children tend to ask for them. However, the fact of the matter is that juice can contain high amounts of added sugar, just like soda, without the nutrients that are found in something like milk or the fruit that juice came from. The 2015-2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends that no more than 10% of daily calories come from added sugar. On a 2,000 calorie a day diet for adults, that's about 50 grams of sugar or just over 12 teaspoons of added sugar per day. For children that only consume 1,000 to 1,200 calories per day, that's only 25 to 30 grams or 6 to 8 teaspoons of added sugar per day. I have poured 6 teaspoons of sugar into this bottle for your reference of what your child should consume as a maximum per day. I'll pass this bottle around for you to be able to compare it to some of the other bottles that I'll show you, and they'll also be available after the presentation if you'd like to take another look. Now, I've also got a 20-ounce bottle of Coke here. This entire bottle contains 65 grams or just over 16 teaspoons of added sugar. Again, I'll pass this around so that you can take a look. Now, what's interesting about that is if you were to drink one of those bottles of Coke every day for a month, you would consume just over 4 pounds of sugar in that month. Now, I know that children aren't always drinking that entire bottle, but even if they were to drink half of that a day, that still adds up to half this bag or 2 pounds of sugar in a month. So again, I'll pass this around for your reference so that you can take a look at it. And next, I've got a bottle of lemonade. So a lot of times this can seem like a great option because it's made from fruit. And while it is, it's also got a lot of artificial flavors and added sugar in it. So this bottle has 48 grams or 12 teaspoons of added sugar. So as you can see, that's over, or actually just at 2 times the amount of added sugar that a child should be consuming in a day, just in this bottle. Now I've got somebody's favorite here, a Gatorade, which can often seem like a great option after a workout or on a hot day. But the fact of the matter is it's got a lot of added sugar in it as well. So this entire bottle has 34 grams or 8.5 teaspoons of added sugar in it. So, you know, instead of reaching for a Gatorade, you could reach for plenty of water to rehydrate, and maybe something like a banana, an avocado, or a sweet potato, which has got some vitamins and minerals to help you replenish those electrolytes that you may have lost on a hot day or during a workout. So what I've got here is a list of some of those foods that have those electrolytes in them, and I will pass those around for your reference so that you can consume that instead of a Gatorade. So what I've also got here is a big bottle of juice, and it looks like a great choice because it's made by V8 with orange and pineapple. It's got some great antioxidants and B vitamins in it. But what we also see here on the nutrition facts label is that there's 18 grams of sugar and 17 of those are added sugar. So while there is a little bit of natural sugar occurring in the juice, it's mostly added sugar. So I brought this for your reference so that you can see. This is the newer nutrition facts label. Not all foods will have this line of added sugars, but you will start to see it very soon and more often. So I brought this for your reference, and again, we'll pass it out. And if you've got any questions about it, I'm happy to answer it at the end or after this presentation. So instead, what I would love for you to choose is something that's made of 100% fruit juice. So here I've got some white grape juice, and as you can see right here on the front, it's made from 100% juice. So we can also tell that by looking at the nutrition facts label. It doesn't have that added sugar line, but it does have a note here that says contains natural fruit sugar only. We also see here in the ingredient list that there isn't any added sugar. So another handout that I've got for you here that I will pass around is all the possible names that sugar could be listed as on the ingredient list. So the food companies can be kind of sneaky sometimes and come up with lots of different names to call sugar. So I brought those for you here today so that you can start to become familiar with them and identify them on the ingredient list and know if the product that you're buying has added sugar. So what I'm going to do with this juice today is I'm going to mix it with seltzer water. Now I like seltzer water because, as you can see, it doesn't have any added sugar to it, actually any sugar at all, and it has only a little bit of sodium in it. So I've got this cup of only about 2 ounces of the fruit juice, and what I'm going to do is combine a 3-to-1 mixture of the fruit juice and the seltzer water. So it'll be 3 parts seltzer water and 1 part fruit juice. So I've got 2 ounces here of the fruit juice, and then I will just fill it to the top, or about 6 ounces of seltzer water. So now you've got a nice, sweet, and bubbly drink that's an alternative to a fruit juice or a soda. And I've got some of this back here in the back for you all to try after the presentation. I've got lots of different fruit juices so you can try different flavors and see what your child might like. Now, one thing I do want to point out is I do like seltzer water over something like a tonic water. So a lot of times tonic water seems like a great option because it's got water in the name, it's clear, it seems very harmless. But what we see here on the back is that it has 34 grams of sugar in it, and all of that is added sugar. So it's actually just as much as that Gatorade had. So it's about 8.5 teaspoons or more than your child's daily allotment of added sugar, just in 1 serving of this tonic water. So I'd like you to go with the seltzer water instead of the tonic water when you're making this drink. Next, I'd like to talk to you about milk. Now, we know that milk is very important for the growth and development of our children. And oftentimes, if a child is not breastfeeding past 1 year of age, we recommend that they consume whole milk. Now, if your pediatrician has told you that your child is overweight, they may recommend a low-fat milk or a skim milk instead of the whole milk. Then by the time all children reach 2 years of age, they should be switched to a low-fat or a skim milk. And one question that I get from parents a lot is, well, isn't there a lot of fat in whole milk? And the answer to that is yes. However, children need that source of fat at that age. It can be really helpful for the child's brain development, which we know is developing rapidly up until the age of 2. And so that's why we really want to make sure that we're giving them that fat content that they need in their milk. And just like I said, by the time they reach 2 years of age, they should be switched to a low-fat or a skim milk. And something that I've had parents tell me before is, well, you know, my child really prefers whole milk and doesn't like some of the lower-fat milks. And I can completely understand that because there tends to be a lot more flavor in a whole milk, maybe a better mouthfeel to your child. So I've got some different ideas. So first, I want you to know you don't have to switch from whole milk to skim milk overnight. You could start with 2% milk, get your child comfortable with that for a couple weeks, switch to the 1% milk, again, get your child comfortable with that for a couple weeks, and then switch to the skim milk. So then you've got your child drinking that lower fat milk, but it doesn't have to happen overnight. So it gets you and your child comfortable to that different milk over time as opposed to immediately. Now, I also had a really great piece of advice from a parent one time in a forum similar to this, and she said that when she was trying to get her child to drink the lower fat milk, she started by combining half whole milk and half 2% milk. And once her child was comfortable with that, she moved to 2% milk. Once her child was comfortable with that, she mixed half 2% and half 1% milk, then 1% milk, then half 1%, half skim milk, and then was completely serving her child skim milk. So again, it was a great way to switch her child, to transition her child from whole milk down to skim milk without having to do it immediately and overnight, and allow her child to get used to that different type of milk over time. So that concludes my presentation for today. I'd like to thank you all for your attention and for taking the time to come and discuss different beverage options for your child with me today. If you have any questions or concerns, I will stick around here for a couple minutes after the presentation, help serve you all some of this fizzy drink, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.